So we're going to do a different kind of video today, and this one's going to be kind of just a talk, um, basically about the last 10 years of trying to be a content creator online, right? This was something that I always kind of wanted to do when I was younger, when I was a kid. I always had a camera at all times. I would constantly be filming things, family parties, stuff with my friends and things like that. I always wanted to make videos. And then as I got older, times changed and like YouTube started to blow up and Vine and all that good stuff. And being a content creator like actually was a possibility. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an insight into my journey with this and hopefully inspire, um, some of you who maybe haven't even started yet that have always wanted to do this, or some of you who have started and maybe kind of slowed down a little bit. Um, it's a way, for me, it was a way to have a creative outlet, get out of the everyday life of the 9 to 5. I worked in corporate for a long time, not a very long time, not 7 or 8 years. I commuted to work for an hour and a half, 2 hour drive each way, which I'll be honest with you guys was completely mind numbing. That was not fun. I was miserable doing that. I made good money, and but I would say really about 8 years ago is when I started really pushing for content creation, like on YouTube and stuff. I started this channel. I mean, at this point now, I have 3 channels. Um, but I started this channel and I started it kind of as a hobby. I never knew it would really turn into anything. I didn't think it would ever, make me any money or anything like that. I just wanted to make videos. I started making tutorials and things like that, and then after some time, they started to stick. I started getting views. People were starting to get some help from my videos. I was like, oh, this feels kind of good. You wake up in the morning to a bunch of views and a bunch of comments of people being like, thank you so much. I didn't know how to do this or whatever. So I kind of got addicted to that feeling, and I started posting more and more and more videos. Then I started doing gear reviews. Um, and it was pretty awesome, I will say. It was definitely awesome. But I think that the biggest takeaway for me, if I had to give anyone advice that was, that hasn't started this yet, that wants to start it now, or maybe you have started it and you're really kind of lost and you're not getting views and all this stuff, the biggest takeaway that I can get from this is that you just have to do it, and stop setting a barrier to entry for yourself that's non-existent, right? A lot of people, I get comments of people talking about like, hey, I can't afford a good camera, I can't afford a good microphone or whatever, blah blah blah. That's the reason why I'm shooting this video on my phone. I'm just sitting out here using my phone, no microphone. This is just recorded fully on my iPhone. Um, to show you that you don't need all this equipment to just get started. You absolutely do not. And it's something that really does stop a lot of people. And I don't think it's actually the equipment that stops people. Personally, I think it is that people like to procrastinate and find reasons why they can't start. They find reasons why they shouldn't start, writing their scripts or coming up with ideas for their videos. Another reason why this video in particular, I don't have a script. I'm just talking to the camera. Yes, plenty of videos on my channel, I did use scripts, but nowadays I kind of don't. I kind of just shoot everything off the top of my head and I go from there. So this video is an example to you guys of just do it. Just start. Like, just stop procrastinating, stop wasting time. You don't need the gear, you don't need to learn how to write and read and write scripts. You can just sit down and make the content that you want to make, whatever's in your head, whatever you're thinking about. Like, man, I really should make a YouTube channel about this. Man, I really want to talk to this about people, talk about this with people. Just do it. There's no reason to not do it. And yes, it'll be fine. You're going to post videos in the beginning and you're going to get 0 views, or you're going to go live if you're trying to be a streamer and you're going to get 0 views, which also, for any of you who are trying to be streamers, that is probably one of the main reasons why a lot of people want to become YouTubers, because people understand nowadays that there is no like organic growth on like Twitch, Kick, or YouTube when it comes to streaming. Well, there's some organic growth on YouTube, but we'll get to that. You need to kind of make content outside of Twitch or Kick to grow those streams, right? You need a place to pull people in, get them to enjoy your content, and then you funnel those viewers over to your streams, and that's how you grow your streams nowadays in 2025. It's very saturated. You're not going to grow much just by going live, right? But for any of you guys who are aspiring streamers, you do know how important it is for your stream to stand out and look really good. And there's millions of people streaming on these platforms. You want your stream to stand out amongst that, sea of millions of streamers there. So if that is you, you guys got to check out the sponsor for today's video, Own.tv.
Owned.tv is your one-stop shop for fresh new graphics for your stream. Whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, or Kick, you'll find something that's a perfect fit for your channel. They offer full themed overlay packages, which are great if you're trying to give your stream a complete makeover, but let's say you're looking to pick up some new alert graphics, don't worry, because they've got you covered there too. You could find single graphics such as alerts, emotes, banners, panels, and logos as well. And one of the best parts about these overlays is that they are completely modular. So if you and your friends all pick up the same overlay, such as this Rodan one right here, you could change the colors and tweak it to match your brand, and none of you will have the exact same overlay. If you're looking to take your stream to the next level, be sure to check out Own.tv using my link below to support the channel. And don't forget, use code HAMMER at checkout for an additional 50% off your order. Now, back to the video.
But anyway, getting back to what I was trying to say, whether you're trying to be a streamer on Twitch or Kick or YouTube, or you're trying to just be a YouTuber or a TikToker or post on Instagram, whatever it is, you gotta just do it and remove these boundaries and these barriers that you set for yourself for no reason. They are non-existent. You're creating them yourself in your head to stop you from moving forward. You have to just post, and you can't get discouraged. That's another really big part of this, is that when people start to post content and they're not getting views, they tend to get discouraged after like 5 to 10 videos. Most people don't make it past their 5th upload, but people get discouraged between 5 to 10 videos, and then they stop, or they change niches, this way. Oh, this niche is not getting me views. You cannot determine your success on social media, especially on these media platforms, without posting a bare minimum of 50 uploads. So if that is you and you're like, wow, 50 sounds like a lot, I don't even think I have the time to do that, then right there you have your answer. This probably isn't for you unless you're just doing it as a hobby when you want to in your free time, which is fine. But if you're trying to be a content creator, people need to understand that, to me, I have also found that this is actually more work physically and mentally than going to my 9-to-5 job for 8 years. You really need to be on the ball 24/7. You need to be constantly brainstorming. You need to constantly be writing down ideas or writing scripts. You need to learn how to record, how to edit, how to create thumbnails. You need to learn SEO to upload videos and things like that. And if you're on the streaming end of this and you don't want to talk about YouTube, you need to learn how to title your streams. You need to learn how to be entertaining, how to interact with a chat, even when you have no chat. Okay, that's something that most people don't talk to you about. But when you first start streaming and you're streaming to yourself and Nightbot, or maybe 1 or 2 viewers, it feels very hard to kind of keep a consistent conversation going, right? Because you have nobody there. And yes, it does get easier when you have more people in your stream and you can have a consistent conversation going for hours. But that is a skill you need to develop. You need to kind of develop very good chatting skills to just yap with the 1 or 2 people that are in there, or even nobody. If you have no one in there, you need to learn how to like narrate what you're doing and make it fun and enjoyable, so that when people do inevitably click on your stream, they have a reason to kind of stick around and watch. And I think that that's very important. These are all things that I've learned over the years that I feel like people don't get told these things enough, and when they start, they get hit with all this stuff. They don't get views, or they don't get viewers in their stream. They get discouraged and they quit. Whereas if you just kind of, pushed past that, and just keep going, right? Like I can't say it, any simpler. Just keep going, and eventually something does happen. It takes time to build up in an algorithm on a video platform like YouTube or TikTok. Yes, there's people who blow up overnight, but that is not the norm. You know, you guys got to understand that is absolutely not the normal. You got to just be very consistent. You have to work very, very hard at this. If you're working a normal job, you have to do it on the side as a hobby. You know, you may sleep a little bit less to get a video out that night or whatever it is. You set yourself goals for the week, right? You know, Sunday comes around, you're like, all right, this week, you know, I'm going to my job. I work Monday through Friday, but I want to make sure I get at least 2 videos posted. It's very important that if you don't have a lot of time, you pick a style of content and brand yourself as someone who can mass produce whatever content you put out. And what I mean by that is, let's say you put out 10 different types of videos, right? Out of that 10, a few of them were super easy to edit and record. It took you an hour. A couple of those were, you know, they took you a week to edit and upload and took you 2 hours to make the thumbnail. And if one of those sticks, now you got to try and stay consistent with that style. And if you don't have the time to consistently put out content in that style because it takes so much longer, it kind of is all for nothing. So when you start doing this, make sure that you're thinking about long term. If this were to work, can I do this long term with these types of videos? You know, when it comes to streaming, if this works, you know, I'm streaming this game or I'm streaming this whatever I'm building or whatever I'm doing, can I do this long term to keep my viewers invested? Can I hold their interest? Is this something I can do on stream every night, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 nights a week to keep people invested, or is it a one-off thing? That's something that also a lot of people don't tell you when it comes to streaming or doing YouTube. You need to be able to pick, a style of content, something that you enjoy doing, that you're not going to really get bored of, because once you kind of start taking off in a direction, as much as I want to tell you guys, do what you want and have fun, that's not really the truth. The algorithm on all of these platforms doesn't really favor that, and it's going to favor what originally took off for you. And that is, that's the audience that it's going to push your future videos or streams to, right? Your viewers will get used to a certain type of stream. Your audience will get used to a certain type of video on YouTube. You're going to want to be able to consistently make those types of videos. And that's another piece of advice that I feel like, man, I wish someone told me this back in the day, right? Because you will end up getting stuck in a niche where, like, you're out of stuff to talk about, or maybe you're not interested in it anymore, or it's just plain and simple stuff like that. And you're going to want to be able to branch out and do all these things. So if that's you and you're not going to stick with something for like a really long time, maybe you should start right off the bat at being a variety streamer or a variety YouTuber, where you talk about a bunch of different things in a specific group or a category. These are things that are really important that I don't think anyone teaches people who are starting out in content creation. Like I said, this video is catered towards people wanting to be streamers, people wanting to be YouTubers, TikTokers, whatever. This is just general information and knowledge that I want to share with you guys that I've learned over the last 8 years. This stuff is very important, and it can kind of help keep you guys, from getting discouraged. Like even today, this is a very different style video than I normally do. I'm normally in my office, but I felt like coming outside and sitting in the sun a little bit. I haven't been in the sun at all today, so I was like, you know what, let me shoot this video outside and kind of give an example of that you can do this without a studio setup. This is just my phone. And now my dog is barking. So I'm going to end the video here, guys. If you want to follow me, I stream on kick.com/hammerdance. Drop me a follow on there. Subscribe to the channel if you love my content. And that's all I've got for you guys today. So I hope this was able to help at least one person. If I did help you at all, please comment down below. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.